Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to join me for webinar exchange Structuring Maritime Green Fuel Systems in China. I'm Cassie Jane from Brookline. I see new and old friends from shipping companies, fuel companies, and ports. Today, I'm joined by Himan Pang from U3 Global and Zhou Boyu from Shanghai Maritime University. Before we go into all the details or the technical aspects, I would like to make a few house rule known. If you have any questions, please type in the chat window. We will be discussing them live during the webinar. IMO's Net Zero framework is coming sooner or later, and a few EU maritime is already in force. There has been a low-key but very determined push for green fuel policies and investment over the past 18 months. So we discussed how the structure of the future green fuel bunkering will be, how it will change, and how the shipping company will not take detours. Now I would like to give the floor to Himan. Himan Pang is CEO of U3 Global. He brings over 50 years of senior marketing experience in energy and infrastructure projects. He has frontline operational expertise in green fuel bunkering execution and port coordination. Mr. Himan, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you, Cassie. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Himan Pang. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I will share my experience in marine fuel bunkering access. I hope it prove useful to your business. As we know, the green fuel ecosystem is fundamentally different from traditional fuels. Ship owners will inevitably facing entirely challenges in secure fuel access. Let me share my screen with you. So Cassie, everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me keep moving. The green fuel ecosystem is fundamentally different from the traditional fuels. Ship owner will inevitably face entire new challenges in secure fuel access. This is the right direction. What will the future bunkering model look like? How do you start building your own fuel sourcing solution? Over the next minutes, let's share my experience in this field. We can see fuel acquisition forms the bedrock of the decision-making pyramid, and that's the level we are focusing on today. Amid global policy uncertainty and regulation fragmentation, China is actively building green fuel capacity to address the concerns of shipping companies. However, to meet efficiency and cost targets, fuel delivery from plant to ship requires a new structured system of service. For this very reason, this topic is not just relevant to China. It holds true value for the global market. Yes, we go to the global policy. Here, I want to share my prediction. Due to the strategic considerations regarding fuel capacity, China might open its domestic compliance requirements to the global market and introduce a reward system. Keep in mind, I'm talking about open adoption from China, not enforced compliance. Shipping companies that adopt these standards will get rewarded. It is all positive, very much in line with the Chinese way of doing business. Let's see. Let's watch what China doing and what's the action. This is our assessment based on following. The China policy release is grounded in its own proved capacities. China is likely to meet its target on schedule, and this is supported by shipping technologies and green fuel supply. This perfectly illustrates a unique Chinese logic. Policy is validated by real-world industry real realities. The National No Carbon Transition Fund will further accelerate industry transformation. And what I want to share with you is that our exchange webinar series is dedicated to providing a channel for the international contribution of these industry capabilities. Yes, let's see some situation happened in China. Currently, 11 ports across China have already achieved green methanol bunkering capabilities, stretching all the way from Dalian to Hainan. We project this number will reach 20 by 2030. Progress is also being made with other green fuel like biofuels, LNG, and ammonia. And recently, hydrogen fuel has been tested on inland vessels. However, the differences in their bunkering capability in these boats are something we must clearly identify and match. Yes, this page shows the port cluster, the situation. I gather some data for you. Meanwhile, given the massive scale of cargo trade and the potential for fuel supply, we believe shipping lines must proactively position themselves for green fuel bunkering in China. The reality is these resources are limited. So, how is China fuel supply industry progressing and optimizing? I prepared a specific project. Next page. I prepared two cases. This is one case in this presentation. I give the page the name, cost, and infrastructure. As we know, driven by domestic industry dynamics, China holds an innate competitive edge in meeting demand and controlling costs. The green hydrogen pipeline from Zhanjiang to Hong Kong will operationally within 3 years, with consumption scenario around the routes absorbing the supply. Scarcity is not an issue. Similarly, hydrogen from the loss will be piped direct to the coast, from Da'an to Dalian, for example. And we project a delivery price near RMB 20 per kilogram. Sorry, RMB 20 per kilogram. I think this is the lowest global. Although these projects are supported by the Transformation Fund mentioned earlier, with a loan interest rate lower than 1.25%. However, the project valuation must exclude government subsidies and unconventional gains. I think this is a calculation method for the project evaluation. I think this is not focus topic today. Maybe we can discuss later for this. And let's go to the next page. Yes, let's go to the shippers' dilemmas. Apart from China, global fuel production capacity is far from meeting market demand. This is a common sense for everyone. Yet, decarbonization compliance is imminent, sooner or later. Now, let's look at the the shared concerns of shipping companies worldwide. Yes, this is a very key page for this presentation. I think everybody can see the terms shortage, diversifications, locking, and the operation complex, and the process inefficient. This is a challenge for the shipping companies. The immaturity of the industry inevitably creates massive operational challenges for shipping companies. Whether they are industry leaders or small players, each faces its own set of unique struggles. Yes. Clearly, ship owners need a sustainable, structured fuel solution, not just the one-off spot contracts. Relying on port availability alone can double your cost. Instead, secure upstream price sharing agreement earlier. What I mean is sharing meaning you don't bear the pressure of buying out entire capacity of one factory or five factory or 10 factory in China. Through orchestration, you gain direct access to factory level price and full control over your fuel cost. This is the way I want to say the shipping line should adopt. Yes, this page shows that physical fuel access. What is it? I think it is the institutionalized fuel solution, a simple and exactly what ship owner need. However, sustaining this structure requires massive resources and advanced integration skills. I think that should not be the ship owner's job. So we can say we have to fix the challenge for quantity, pricing, bunkering, and continuity. This is the basic four factors for the physical fuel access. I'm not just talking about the physical access. I'm trying to analyze the structural development of such a ecosystem. You know, this chart illustrates the iterative development path of procurement structure over next years. This is only from my research and my experience when operation. It I think it encompasses all the key elements: planning, upstream integration, financing, and the quantity tracking. My point here is that to achieve true cost optimization, shipping company must adopt a structured mode of external collaboration rather than trying to tackle every single variable in a solution. I don't want to repeat every term of such three module. I think a lot of company in uh, in this year or next year maybe we still stay at the manual, the first model, the manual model. I think next 3 years or next 2 years later, we the industry will go to the orchestrated model, orchestrated model. And I think the final model would be autonomous. That will be 10 years later. That depends on the AI technology for synchronized production and to bunkering. So this is a long story for later. So let's talk about exactly what's the structure, what is the structure, and how the shipping company to make it. Yes. Oh, sorry. Let's begin with a case study. I illustrate the logic with a real-world case. Semi-CGM's bunkering at the Yangshan port was a milestone, but essentially it remains a one-off, single-point project. Despite have a framework agreement with Shanghai Port, they still couldn't solve the issue of supplying continuity and the price advantage, which is why they had to invest in an ammonia storage tank in Nanjing with my friend Mr. Chen. These complex maneuvers are exactly what shipping company do not need. I think do not need. What the true need is a simple interface. We have prepared this table to present a quantitative comparison, estimating the cost efficiency of each item under both modes. For instance, locking in long-term prices and with upstream producer is widely recognized as the industry's best strategy. However, in reality, it is nearly an impossible task for a single shipping company to maintain relationship with numerous plants and tracking prices in real time, not to mention facing the inherent challenge of settlement and payment terms. Algorithm, algorithm framework. Comparing the two models, the real saving comes from breaking down the fuel sourcing. While this may slim down the profit margin of existing and traditional portfolio trading, the benchmark mechanism built by orchestration ensures the entire ecosystem remains sustainable. We can see the industry will developing under the second mode, orchestration mode, will bring the ship owner the cost saving for 15% to 25%. This is our estimate. Thus, we arrive at this conclusion, and it is already unfolding from uncertainty to certainties. Yeah, a summary six operation uncertainties. I think I have already mentioned. I don't want to repeat it. Partner selection framework. We have covered the orchestration value in last three pages, so don't want to repeat it. Choosing a partner, after all, is simply about one thing: solving your concerns. There are 7 concerns, maybe 10 concerns, doesn't matter, but you have to list your concern. After you cooperation with a partner, how to evaluate its value, how to evaluate competitives. Let's take one more step. It is not easy, I have to say. It takes serious due diligence and real world experience, especially in a new supply chain like green fuels and new regulations in different countries. That is not our focus today, but I look forward to continuing the conversation with you. If you recognize that an orchestration partner is inevitable, you will understand this is a journey that takes time. It requires long-term tracking and careful building a collaborative network. And the best partner is you can kick this off with virtually zero risk. Actually, I mean shipping company, you should start your progress in such kind of module, and this will not cost you too much. It's a virtually zero risk. Yes, today let me make a summary conclusion. I think today I have talked about the structured condition, alignment through the orchestration process, and data-driven evaluation. This has been my personal take on green fuel acquisition for shipping companies. I wish we can put this into practice and progress together. Thank you. With that, please allow me end today's speech. Also, please reach out to me here. Thank you. You can search me LinkedIn human pound.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Human. You show us a structured view of how to supply to access and how maritime fuel systems can be designed across supply, bunkering, and operational alignment. So at this stage, we are interested in how this structure resonates with real operations. Now, if there is one topic running through every methanol bunkering conversation right now, is the rules are not the same from port to port. So what Singapore requires Rotterdam interprets differently, and Shanghai is building its own framework as we speak. For operators, there may be some operational risk. So the next segment is about the guidelines on the ground. I'm pleased to give the floor to Mr. Zhou Boyu. Mr. Zhou is an assistant researcher at the Shanghai Shipping Research Center, expert in field of maritime energy. He's here to show the methanol bunkering compliance guidelines across key ports, what's the harmonized, what is not, and where the critical differences actually matter for your operations. Please, Mr. Zhou. You can turn on your camera and microphone.
Yep. Can you see my face?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy Jen, and good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Zhou Boyu from Shanghai Maritime University, and I am a researcher focused on policy and port regulation. And I'm very glad to be here to introduce you the methanol bunker guidelines. And I work on the compilation of this guideline, and I will focus on how it can be used in actual operation in today's section. And as the human pound said, we do a lot of efforts in building infrastructure and fuel supply, but we also face many difficulties in different ports regulation. So different ports requirement will affect different stage of bunker operation. So the purpose of this guideline is to help ship owners and bunker provider to recognize these differences and prepare methanol bunkering operation more smoothly and safely. We move on to next page. And our guideline cover 4 sources from 4 major authority and classification society. They are China Classification Society, the Marine Department of Hong Kong, and the Port of Singapore and Port of Gothenburg. And we also covered 2 important international regulation from IMO and CEN. And in this guideline, we include 5 modules. The first module is legal definition and scope, and the second one is qualification and approval, and third it's responsibility, procedures and equipment. The fourth it's risk and emergency response, and the final will be the documentation and records. It's follow the preparation sequence. So here comes the first module. It's about definition and scope. This module, you can see it as a boundary. It set the operating boundary. It defined the applicable water, the parties covered by the rules, and accepted bunker mode. So for ship owners and bunker supplier, I think this is not the most important part, but you can use it as a entry point of the operation preparation. You can confirm whether the planned bunker mode fit the target port, And the bunker supplier, you can match the supply mode with the port routes, vessel capability, and terminal condition. And we move to next part. And here is module 2. Module 2 is qualification and operational approval. It's basically about the communication with port authority, the license you need to prepare, the ship certifications, the personnel certifications, qualification you need to complete before the operation start. So I think for owners and bunker supplier, you can this part is pretty practical for personal training, and we show differences amount for documents in our guideline, Hong Kong and Gothenburg. The first one is Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, if you want to conduct a methanol bunker operation, you need to get the license first, and the license requires several documents. For example, you need to submit the methanol bunkering management plan and joint bunkering operation plan, and any other relevant vessels certification required by IBC and ISM, and personnel qualification in according with the STCW. And another example, it's from Gothenburg, and Gothenburg also emphasized that any methanol bunkering conduct in Gothenburg harbor area need to be approved, and bunker vessels need port accreditation and relevant certifications. So this is a quite important part, because a incomplete approval may create a delay for ship owners and lost commercial opportunities for supplier. You can use it as a training tool or a checklist. And we move on to module 3. It's module 3. It's responsibility, procedures, and equipment. This module explains how a methanol bunkering plan is carried out on site. It covers operating sequence, equipment readiness, equipment test, communication, safety check, emergency stop arrangement, and coordination with other port activities, especially the simultaneous operation. So for ship owners, this module helps you to understand the crew preparations and ship side check and equipment test and cargo operation limits. And for bunker supplier, this is also a tool like a checklist you can do 3. Okay. We talk about module 3, and here it's a example in our guidelines. It's about the pre-bunker stage. We detail what ship owners and bunker supplier should finish in this stage. You can see it include risk assessment, include the transfer connection text, and some equipment tests such as the ESD system, and the checklist completion. So we move on to module 4 and 5. Module 4, it's about risk assessment, safety management, and emergency response. How risks are assessed, controlled and handled during a normal situation. And we also shows a example in our guideline. We detailed during the risk assessment. You can use this module as a checklist, especially for a bunker supplier. You can use it for your staff training, for your procedure design. And the final module, it's documentation and records. So this is about to save evidence for the fuel quality, quantity, payment, claims, and port inspection. For supplier, it's a proof that surveys has been approved, checked, measured, delivered, and complete as agreed. And this is also important for insurance company because it's evidence of the a whole operation. And here is an example from China Classification Society. We separate the whole operation process into two stages. The first stage, it's pre-bunkering. You need to submit the documents and record in the right column. You can see it's operation plan, operation manual, emergency plan, and some checklist. And after the bunker finished, which is the post-bunker stage, you need to submit the post-bunkering checklist and delivery notes, which means you need to note the transfer data during the bunker transfer, transferring. And finally, we hope this guideline can support you at voyage planning, market access, positive design, training, customer surveys, and dispute preparations. And we suggest that you can use this guide following this 5-step. The first step is to confirm the boundary. You need to ensure that whether the way you want to bunker Methanol, it's accepted in the target port, and the area it's allowed it to bunker Methanol. And the second step, you need to prepare approval, which means you need to complete the license. You need to prepare the ship's documents, certifications, personal qualifications, and the third step, it's responsibility and procedures confirmed. You can use module 3 as a checklist. Again, it's a practical tool to do the equipment test. And again, module 4, you can also use it as a checklist to do the risk assessment, protections, and emergency response. And finally, you can see the module 5. It's keeping evidence for sampling and record. And thank you for listening. Here is my introduction about the guideline. And if you have any questions or you're interested in this guideline, please contact with us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ms. Zhou. It's very good to show us the landscape of port guidelines, the critical differences actually set for operators, and the operational recommendations. Now we have room for a few more questions. Also noting of the time, there were not too many questions. I see the chat is quiet for the moment. We have set some questions gathered from audience ahead of today's session. So first I want to go to Human. The question is, what's the price for green methanol bunkering price now in China port?
Thank you, Casey. I think that's a great question because of its directness and because it leads us to how we should evaluate pricing. Let me answer your question directly. Currently, the price of green methanol delivery into vessels tank at a Chinese port is between RMB 10,000 or to 15,000 per ton. The main factors determine this price includes exit factory price, transport cost to the port, port storage duration, and the lead time for bunkering. The amount of fuel physical available at the terminal during the bunkering window. The carbon footprint value state on ISCC certification. Balancing lead time and insurance. Many factors affect the price. So I don't want to overcomplicate the answer from a ship owner's perspective. There are many things you can do to reduce cost, such as signing long-term offtake agreements, adjusting booking lead times, and prepare vessel qualification properly. But how this actually translates into lower costs depends on the specific operational context. Yes, I think that's helpful for this question. Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you. Now we know the price is based on the distance, carbon footprint value, and the cost is with many factors. And would you please predict China's ship carbon reduction compliance plan and how it will affect the future international ships calling at the port? Thank you. Mr. Pang.
Okay, China compliance policy, I think, is typically based on the practical realization of individual case first, followed by industry-wide implementation requirements. In this sense, it operates more as a pragmatic approach in contrast to the Western theoretical tradition. I enjoy studying simple applied philosophy, and this is a good case in point. Moreover, China is likely to adopt an encourage stance, guiding industry to use its compliance indicators by providing clear pathways. This is why I continue to believe that policy implementation in China tends to follow an engineering-oriented mindset, a view I have shared on other occasions as well. For global ship owners, China's compliance requirements may actually be more aligned with their operational development. Of course, I hope that one day we will see global standards coverage, offering the market a small and harmonized framework. One day, I think. This is my answer, Cassie.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Pang. So we think the standards in the global needs a long way to development. Now the last question is for Mr. Zhou. Is the methanol bunkering guideline you introduced a complete set of documents if the charter needs you to provide training? How does it work?
Yes, the bunker guideline, it's a complete document package. It can be used for staff training and daily operational reference. And we provide both digital and printed versions. The guide is updated annually, and one purchase includes 3 years of surveys. And for training, we provide online sections for ship owners, chapters, and bunker providers. The training helps staff to understand port by port compliance differences and preparation need before methanol bunkering, including approval, documentation, operation planning, and risk control. And all our surveys can be customized to each company's routes and target bunkering ports. So if you're interested, you can contact with Kathy Jen for further discussion.
Okay, thank you for that. If you are interested, contact me, please. So we have spent an hour looking at fragment, port regulations, supply and demand mismatches, and actual bunkering execution. Mr. Joe just walked us through the compliance landscape, and Hillman analyzed earlier the execution disconnects that ship owners face daily. If what we cover today connects with the decisions on your desk, fuel transition, bunkering access, or early project structuring, those focused follow-up conversations are exactly what we run the Exchange series. It covers a wide range of cutting-edge green energy scenarios, offering you professional perspectives and practical insights months after months. So I can share my screen. This is our exchange overview and calendar. We will talk about industrial delivery for hydrogen, ammonia, and methanol in June, and structured energy systems for data centers in July. Meanwhile, the Bookline Shanghai Summit will bring you to face-to-face where real collaboration takes shape. And they will take concrete form at the Bookline 2026 Summit in October. Please visit Summit website and register for early bird pass. So thank you everyone online, Heyman and Mr. Joe, for an excellent session. We will keep this channel open for the follow-up and reach out directly with any inquiries. So see you next time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.